Hello everybody, welcome back as ever to Building Blocks, where we are once again making Minecraft mods live on camera and watching as things go kablooey. I appear to be very much louder than usual. Let me just quickly check if my settings in XSplit have decided to bonk themselves. No, that's apparently correct. Okay, right. Guess I just get to talk a little bit quieter today. Who knows? Yes, I did leave the intro running a bit longer than usual there because I was not going to stop the intro on a song called Fox. So, of course I wasn't. Last week we finished up all of the armor textures. Hear you during the intro? I mean, yes, I know that part. Wait, hang on, you mean on the intro screen? Because that definitely shouldn't have been the case. According to my settings here, everything was weird. But if you mean the actual animated intro, then that's fine. That's why you hear the knuckle cracks. But anyways, yeah, we finished off the armor textures for our wargs last week, and they're looking very spiffy and cute in their little outfits. Look at that, it's so nice. We are in the animated intro. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We are in the very, 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 very last stretch of getting this version of Various Oddities out and available to the public. It has been far more time than I would like to admit since any kind of version was released. Let me just pull this up, see exactly how long it's been since a version was released. February last year. It has been over a year since a release version. About a year, a little over a year, since an alpha version of any kind. And a beta version, near enough as makes no difference a year, again. So, yeah, it's been a while. And also I'm seeing the 2020 versions there. I need to update to 118 or something now, just, well, so much to do. So much to do. But not so much on this version. So, today we are going over the final little details to get as few bugs as possible. There's always bugs, I will say. There are always bugs to be had and such. But they're always the kind that I will never even identify in the course of actually, like, testing before releasing a version, and then people will find within 5 minutes of downloading it. So, not a lot I can do there. But, yeah, we're gonna try and go through the list of things I know exist and need tweaking, and hopefully there'll be a minimum of bugs. But, yeah, so we got a nice little pretty looking wargs. We will be working a little bit more on the wargs today, that's on the list. There are some bugs with them that we need to fix. So, for instance, this fella here has a saddle. No saddle is present. I'm not sure how it is that the saddle isn't showing up, but the actual, like, armor is. But if I sit on him and hop off... oh no, does he not have a saddle? He does have a saddle. It's right there. There we go. Now it's showing. That is a bug that we need to fix. It's not an especially egregious bug, but it would probably be helpful to know which wargs have a saddle on them before you hop on them. That kind of thing. So, step 1. Fix inventory display of the warg. So let's see, entity warg. And it is just going to be predominantly just small little details here, so we don't need to worry too much about them. Let's see, chest is fine, carpet is clearly quite fine, rearing is unrelated to this. We're looking for the armor, which... Oh yes, this is the list of creatures that the wargs will eat, by the way. Cows, pigs, llamas, and sheep. So be a little careful with that. There's other things I believe that we need to do with regards to this, but for right now, somewhere in here, there is code that makes the armor render, but isn't related to making the saddle show up. Warg chest does not equal null, and get stack in slot 0 is not empty. Apparently that works well enough for displaying... Well, apparently it works well enough for displaying everything else. Let's see, warg chest and equal null, and warg chest like 1 is not empty. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Get carpet color. Which it refuses to show me now. How very, very, very unhelpful. Let's see. Update armor, update saddle, update... Ah! That's probably it right there. Okay. I'm not even sure exactly when this got changed, but apparently it did. Okay. Well, we can fix that up. Okay, all good. So let's see, get data manager, set saddle to let's see, not this dot warg chest dot get stack in slot 0 is empty. Hopefully that fixes that up. Now, does this get called? Yes, it does. Right up here. I think? No. Gets called in on inventory changed. Okay. That's fine. Is saddled can now just refer to that data manager variable. There. Okay, right. I think that's all well and good. Let's see. It is also the last couple of days of Pride, so this is honestly one of my less extra outfits for the month, depending on your definition of extra, I guess. But there's a chance I won't have a stream on Thursday, which would be the very last day of the month. So this is about as extra I was gonna get. Okay, good, we started with the saddle on. Grand. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Praise be the data manager and its capacity to show us things. Okay, marking that as done. But yeah, there's a chance I won't have a stream on Thursday because I will be out. I will be at an orchestral performance. Technically, yes, an orchestra, but when you say orchestra in this day and age, people assume like My Chemical Romance or something. I don't know. Black Parade, yada yada. By this I mean an actual orchestra, because I have a soft spot for classical music. I will be wearing a mask the entire time, but suffice to say, there's a chance I won't have a stream then because it starts at like an hour before my stream usually does. So, yeah. But there's also a chance that I'm physically not able to actually attend it. So, in which case I will have a stream, which I will try to be as extra as possible in my attire. But, yeah. Okay. So, body spawning unreliability or mob vision loss of detection range? Technically speaking, this should actually be based on duration. So it's like N ticks after they've last seen you, they will lose track of you. But that would require quite a bit more data to actually manage. But it would be more reliable, I think. How to approach that? Well, let me see. Do I have that listed in my tasks? Where is it? Nope, that's just how Terror works, which also needs a bit of tweaking. There we go. Okay. Mob entity mix-in. So, if attack target does not equal null, check if we can see them, and then check if check if they're like in the shadows again, effectively. And then we need to set that to null whenever they've lost target. That part is straightforward. The question is, how do we track this? How do we change how far they can see? Do we just make it the follow range? I don't think so. I think we check if... Hang on, there wasn't... I swear there was a thing... Get visibility multiplier. I'm pretty sure we've tinkered with that as well. I just don't recall where exactly. Is targeting hindered is unrelated to this. Is it in entity mixer? No. Okay. Ability vision. There you are. Living visibility event. Aha! There you are. Okay, I was just wondering if that was going to be included. Right. Yep, there's visibility modifier. Good, good, good. Okay. Is glowing, or can mob see entity, which is basically, are any of these vision abilities actually able to proc on them? So then we... I'm just trying to think of how ticks since last seen, I guess would be it. Okay, so... if distance is greater than that, then ticks since last seen plus plus and then we need to say if ticks since last seen is greater than or equal to let's say 10 seconds. Then set the attack target to null and ticks since last seen equals 0. And let's also set it to 0 whenever we don't have a target at all. Okay. So now, if their vision of the target is hindered, then after 10 seconds of it being hindered, then they'll stop targeting. That said, this probably shouldn't be squared, because that'll artificially massively increase the amount of range we're talking about here. Okay, so visibility, i.e. the amount that they can see or not see you or not, which also factors in, by the way, skulls of skeletons and creepers and such. So if they can't see you, then that ticks up. Then, okay, so actually I can fold that in to there. Okay. And that just sets the attack target to null again. Okay, I probably also don't need this line in there, because it's just gonna go through again and get set to that anyways. Okay, let's give this a test. So there's 10, if you get spotted, you've got to stay out of their vision for 10 seconds. Ooh, there's a fort. I can change this. So now if you get back in that range, it resets. So it has to be 10 seconds since they were last able to see you. In short. Do I need to include the visibilities marker there? I think we probably do. I think we probably do. Just trying to think of the flow chart here. If that value being less than 1 is effectively vision impaired in some fashion, so should be fine. A reminder that this takes into account darkness, but only so long as they don't have night vision, which they automatically do if they have the night vision ability. Or dark vision, to be more specific. And this will be done on species test, because that's where our test pillager is. Okay, there he is. So, time set midnight. My dark vision on, at least, so somebody here can see things. I am in survival mode. Okay. And he currently has some conditions from me, so he's not currently interested in me for a hot second. But we'll wait for it. Let's see, he is currently dominated as well as charmed. So he's not afraid of me. So, hey, there's that. I do feel like domination needs a better icon, but this works for right now. This works. Just gotta wait for these to wear off. I could probably modify it with, like, changing its entity data, but it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot. I wonder if it'd be good... Oop, I just heard a fox somewhere. Oh, of course I heard a fox somewhere. There's a fox right over here. Oh, where... Oh, is he... He's done. Okay, he can't see me now. Okay, he's definitely targeting me now. I feel like we need some kind of visual indicator. Yeah. Okay, and now as far as he's concerned, I've slunk into the darkness, which, fair, it's hecking dark. Is this on... Yeah, this is on Moody. On Bright, it almost doesn't matter. I feel like having some kind of visual indicator that something has lost track of you would make sense. Ow. Ow. Oh. Just gotta wait a bit for this to wear off. Wait, I might not be healing. There's a thought. I might not be capable of recovering from this. There we go. And I can happily wake up because he's not gonna target me from there. Oh boy. Okay, right, that healed... Well, firstly, that increased my health. Secondly, that also simultaneously healed my bludgeoning damage, which I don't recall having, but it's fine. Yeah, I haven't given myself regeneration ability, which functions differently to regeneration, the status effect, because regeneration basically turns all lethal damage into bludgeoning damage, so you can't actually really take damage, you can only be knocked out. Pretty handy, that. It also increases how... It has a, like, passive bludgeoning damage healing to it. But okay, right. That seems to work, but I've identified a potential user flaw, which is that you can't actually tell when they've lost, like, attack status on you. So we probably want to add some kind of particle or some kind of indicator, so that you can actually tell when that's happened. So, let's see. Where's our mob entity? There you are. Okay. And this would be living entity. And the mob entity. Coffee-based computer speak. Yes, welcome to Java. The bane of my existence. Okay. Straightforward for the mob entity here. We just set the attack target to null. And that would be attack target and the null. There. Okay. Clear out that fix me, that's for sure. Right. How do we indicate to the player that something has lost track of them? The classic video game thing is that you have an eye on your screen that closes. So maybe we do that. Maybe we add one, actually. Now that's very telepathic. How in the hell are you supposed to know? How on earth do you have any idea of how else someone else can see you? But you know, it's a classic. I think it'll work. So, let's see. Network, we're going to need to send a packet from the server to the player, because then the server is the one that handles all of the AI code. And let's see, over here in if target entity dot get type equals entity type dot player, and we're not client side. This shouldn't fire client side, but just in case. Mob entity get world. There. Packet handler send to target entity new packet mob lose track. We don't need it to be too heavily complicated beyond that. I believe it's player entity. It's either player entity MP or entity player MP. Server player entity. I'm wrong on both counts, huh? Okay. Let's just grab something real quick and dirty here. Just so I have the functions I need. Because heck if I can remember you. Don't store basically any data for this. Okay, so then let's go to our client handler, or packet handler, rather. Shove that in. So this specifically only happens whenever the mob is not able to actually like see you for any particular reason. Why are you complaining now? All of these things are in here. What's your problem? Are you just being silly for the sake of being silly? Because that has been known to happen. Hey Ash, how you doing? Yeah. Hey, look at you. Hello. Ooh, and I'm getting a nice little treat. Lucky me. There's no more reference to sit, so you shouldn't be having any problems here. But apparently we are. This isn't extending out of something that isn't there. I don't know what's going on with it. Right, well, for right now, at least. We can just check this up. Okay. For this, we're going to want to have something rendering on your screen, I believe, and I do have special stuff for that. Where did I put it? GUI. Okay. So, there you are. We want to have an icon, which is a closing eye, appear on your screen, indicating that something has lost track of you. It's not going to tell you who. It's not going to tell you what or how many. It will theoretically trigger for every single thing that loses track of you, should you happen to be lost, like, should a large horde of mobs happen to lose you. Which I imagine is going to be the point where you most want to be notified of it. But, and Vash just giving me a stretch. Okay, right. Ugh. Ow. This is a lot more painful than one might suspect. Check if anything is still tracking the player, in which case just ignore the packet, I guess. Possibly. I guess the question is, does the player need to know about everything tracking them, or does the player only need to know about things stopping tracking them? I mean, we're not giving them any special data as to what is following them here. Okay. Anyways. We want to show this, so for that we're going to want public static, doesn't want final, int, let's call it tracking eye ticks, I guess. Initialize that at 0. Then it would be GUI handler dot tracking eye ticks equals, we'll say a second. For right now, at least. Seriously, why are you complaining? You should be absolutely fine. Everything here is perfectly fine. Guess it depends on how intrusive the notification is. True, true. Does it think I'm importing them from somewhere, maybe? I don't know. Well, let's just handle it. What is your complaint? I honestly can't quite tell what is going on with this thing. Okay. We want to render this basically as long as the HUD isn't hidden. So Let's see, that's not relevant. That's not what we're after. Crosshairs and not hide abilities, right? I think if we just break that down a step. Okay. So, if minus tracking I ticks is greater than 0, to do render closeout. What we could do to make this a little bit smarter is give it actually effectively an initial ping so we know when anything starts targeting the player, and then whenever that list is finally empty, then start declining it. Again, that'll be a matter of every single member of the Horde would have to lose track of you before you get the notification that any part of the Horde has lost track of you, but it's a thing. It's a thing. It might also just be genuinely interesting to have just a row of eyes and just see them closing one by one as the individual creatures lose track of you, but that could get a bit spammy on the visuals, so we'll leave that out for the time being. But let me see. This is also theoretically only relevant if you're trying to be stealthy, but anyways. Why? Just why, I guess. Message pattern buffer? It's right here. I'm pretty sure this is fine. What is your complaint? Let's see, decode. Encode. Yes, these are all fine. What is your major malfunction? Let's actually add some data into this. Maybe it'll figure itself out. Always a good feeling getting smart rock sorcery to work. Yeah. Oh, I can see it. I'm an idiot. It's right there. It was literally staring me in the face the entire goddamn time. Okay. Well, now it works. Why wasn't that listing packet sit as an import then? Annoying. Okay. Let's start by just checking to see if this actually works at all. I feel like after this, actually getting it to work on the entity that has lost track of you is more helpful. But for right now, let's just see if we get a spam of about 20 messages saying closing eye. So there's a thought. We could have it be there's a closing eye visible on every entity that's lost track of you, and then as long as there is any entity that has still got track of you, we don't show that thing until finally there's none, in which case, then the player knows which entities have lost track of them, and when no entities are targeting them. That probably is That's a little harder to explain than it is to show, but bleh. Okay. Hi there. Give him 10 seconds. And... closing eye. Okay. He can no longer see me. I do think I'm tinkering a little bit with the vision there a bit more, so he should actually be able to shoot at me until he loses track. But okay. We got 20 messages of closing eye. Good start. Now we need to render something. I believe I have icons available. Draw partial icon, draw icon. There you are. So, the logical place to put this is by your crosshair. Above it, maybe? Would make sense to me. And then we just need to give it an index. Icons. No, those are the deep cut Transformers lore. Okay, so draw icon at matrix. Let's see. We want basically the dead middle of the screen. Where do I render the dead middle of the screen? There you are. And then index, we'll just give it zeros for the hot second. And then it's size, which I think we generally say 16. Is it 16 we generally use? Nine. Apparently the icons are 9. Why did I give them such an odd resolution? I don't know. But okay. That should put an icon in the middle of our screen when they lose track like that. Tiny fox go scram. Okay. See me! Attempt to murder me, and I shall run off into the shadows again. Oh, yep. We had an icon there. A little off, but good. Okay. So that worked. I am again a little bit concerned here. Living visibility event gets called. Empty visibility multiplier. Get visibility multiplier. Can target. Right. What I could do is have... I was about to say I could have this feed in whether or not it is currently targeting that creature. In which case, assume 1. Basically just bypass all of these calculations until such time as the mob entity mix indeed tracks it because of that value. But I would need to make sure... I would basically need to feed in a variable here that might miss some things. I can just skip this for the most part. If it's already the attack target, then skip most of this. So let's see. Mob, instance of mob entity, and mob dot... Well, let's be mob entity first. Get attack target equals entity. There. But that would then bypass the entirety of mob entity mixed in the first place, so... Humdy humdy hum. How to fix that? Well, let me just comment that out. Okay, that's done for the time being. So, now we need an actual icon. So there's the ability icons. Let's make this its own little thing. And let me see, what do I want to call? Well, I could probably just call this tracking eye. Or just tracking, I guess that works too. Eclipse accepts, there you are. Right. Let's see, canvas size, let's set this to be 16 wide. And how many steps do I want to give this closing eye? Say 4, which would be 64 total. Okay. So our index is... let's see. That part's fine. Then let's see, 16 and 16, and the index would be basically 20. Well, 20 minus the number of tracking eye ticks over 4, let's say, or 5, I guess. Oh, sorry, my brain's just gone dead on exactly how to do this calculation. I need a number that increases while another number is decreasing. I guess it could be 5 or 4 minus that over that. Yeah, I could do it. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 minus tracking eye ticks over 5. So the lower tracking eye ticks gets, the more it's able to show. We do want to actually make sure that that can only be at 0 at most. So let me just actually index, or index apparently. So maximum of 0 and index. There. Actually, I can I clamp this? I hope I can clamp this. 0 and 4. Or 3. No? Is that math helper? There it is. Okay. This will not render properly right now, because it is much, much larger than it needs to be. But we'll sort that out after my break. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Go grab yourself a snack. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a nice little break there. So, before we left off there, we were just setting up to get a little closing eye whenever a mob with reduced capacity to see you, at the very least, loses vision of you entirely. And this is useful because if you're trying to play a stealth role, then knowing that things aren't currently targeting you is kind of helpful. So, over here, I have considerably expanded our original thing in order to make this actually load up a higher resolution image in order to be a bit clearer. This is probably going to be much larger than it needs to be, but we'll see. We'll see. Just see if it works at all first. This should only show about 3 icons, but that's fine as long as it shows any. Okay, so he's targeting me, and give it a mo. Good start. Couldn't find the texture there. Hi. Bye. Maybe 10 seconds is too long, at least for testing purposes. Did he stop? I didn't see anything that time. Nope, not seeing anything. Okay. Did I give these coordinates wrong, is I guess the next question. I know that these depend upon a certain size. I wonder if that's the problem. Yeah, I think... yeah, that's expecting floats, so we need to modify this very slightly. Because right now it's just giving it raw integers, which are much, much larger than it's expecting. It's expecting something between 0 and 1. Let's see, those are screen coordinates, those are fine. X over 16. you not liking that at all? No? You're fine with it, what's the problem? Apparently some part of this does not like being afloat. Okay, fine. This got lit. Nope. It's a static function, which makes this a little bit more annoying. This looks fine to me. But then again, I guess if things were actually fine for me, then this would work. What is the value between... Blit offset. Ah, that's what it's complaining about. Yep, there you go. No problems. Okay, so assuming our texture is 16 by 64, which this one is, it should now actually be able to render something. Okay, Mr. Pillager, murder me. Heck. Ow. And wait for it. It was definitely doing something there. Guessing I didn't overwrite tracking. Yep, there you are. Fingers crossed. Perfect! That is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay. So now I just need to actually draw a closing eye. 16 pixels by 16 pixels. I swear I've also done... I swear I've done an eye recently. Oh boy, thank you for the dub. Ow. I did have an eye, but I think I changed this. Yeah. It's not there anymore. But there's an eye. Arcane Sight. That'll do. We can just drain the color out of this, and then make it a little bit more suitable to us. Okay. So we don't need this to be full color, first and foremost. So desaturate. And then we probably don't need the iris. Or the... Is this the iris? Yes. I always remember there was one troll in my community at one point who claimed that they didn't have irises. Not we're blind, we're not blind, but didn't have irises. Because apparently of a rare genetic defect of some description, which is not how that works. By any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so let's just have a quick look. Because Thief, I believe, typified the eye kind of icon. Somehow I've come up with results for Sea of Thieves, but yeah, okay. Is it Thief? Ah, yes, it is Thief, but it's above the eye, not... It's above the enemy, not actually on them, which, you know, you'll probably get to. Okay, let's fiddle with the contrast here a bit. So we're gonna have it be all black, which would be pretty decently in service of this being visible, I think. We'll leave it be for the time being. Okay. Let me just put some pixels so I can actually tell where this thing starts and ends. There. Okay. So then this one wants to be a couple pixels, and then this one wants to be a couple more, and then so on and so forth. Fairly straightforward. In theory, I could actually maybe animate this by just altering the size, but then the whole thing starts to squish rather than close, which just looks really weird. Okay, let's call that the second stage. Suppose I could also theoretically reference Skyrim for this. Does that look sufficiently right? Well, let's get a test. Thankfully, when it comes to textures, you don't need to reboot the entire game to test them. Hi. Look out, he's got a gun! That does look sufficiently like an eye closing to me, at the very least. I will say, under most circumstances, this is probably going to be quite dark. That might not be very visible. In which case, it makes sense to dial the contrast back and make this bright. Okay, and... Right. Looks pretty good. Looks very much like a closing eye, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Okay. I can theoretically make that more complex if I wanted to, like, be more clear about which creature has lost track of you, for instance. I think it's fine as is. I think it's okay, at least for right now. So the next thing is, they should still be able to attack you. As long as they're already actually, like, attacking you, they should be able to attack you. So how do I check for that? Let's see, living entity mix-in. Can targets. Was it can targets? No. So we're living. Where the vision event comes in. Get entity visibility multiplier. Right, so how do I check where that's coming from? Don't have very much information there. What I can do is have a boolean in here, a static boolean, have that be referenced inside of vision modifiers, and if that is set to true or whatnot, then I can check for later. Okay. So let's see, public static boolean, ignore targeted, I guess. And then inside of our mix-in over here, that probably wants to be the other way around. Okay, so let's see if our pillager still shoots at me, even when I'm further away. In other words, once they target you, they can keep targeting you until they completely lose track of you. Our modifiers to visibility shut off until they lose track of you, so it's only really effective before they've targeted you. Okay, here comes shot number one. He should get a few out before he loses track of me. He's still not shooting at me. Okay, why? That does then raise the question, exactly what is causing us to do that? Does this get called anywhere else? This I think I can get rid of. That's related to fear, which we've already fixed up. Update AI tasks. Sense. Nope, that's all fine. Did I do something inside of living entity mixing? Can target. Is targeting hindered? Is just, yeah, that's just based on conditions, that's fine. So it's not that. We know they're still targeting me, because they're actually trying to attack me. Can see. Right. Is this in some fashion involved? Entity senses. I wonder. How is this even updated? There's nothing in here. Can entity be seen? I wonder if that's related. Am I messing with that somewhere? Certainly doesn't look like it too much. Nope, doesn't seem it. So it doesn't seem like it's that. Nearest attackable target, how about that? Faction, targeting hindered, is undead. None of that's relevant for this. So what's making it lose? But what's making it not attack me? Am I just too far away at that point? Try to move. Charging. Set look position. Am I just getting too far away? Let's find out. Let's just create ourselves a free roaming pillager and see if that resolves the issue here. Let's see, effect, give, div, resistance. For about 5 minutes, move, save, and yes, type the particles, please, thank you. Okay. Free roaming pillager. Well, he's certainly trying to shoot me. Come on, lose track. At this range, you should be losing track of me. Okay, he eventually lost track of me. Oh. Right, I maybe want to clear their Pathfinder when they do that, but that's good. I was able to escape the pillager in the darkness. Dear God, moody, like, brightness with night vision on is just ridiculous. This is just daylight. Okay. I think that was useful. I'm not sure what happened here. I think that was useful. That looks like explosion, but I haven't tested explosions in a while. Okay. I think that demonstrated function. Correct function. So I'm taking that off our list. I think that's good. We can close out of these for the time being. And yep, that's all good. Okay. Right. What else we got? Account for obstruction of vision. Okay, so here what's happening is that we have things that trigger when you can see something that has terrorized you in some fashion. Typically this is probably another player using some kind of fear ability. We need to account for whether or not you can see them. So let's see, player.can_see, can entity be seen? I'm pretty sure is a different thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, that just runs the ray trace. That is fine by me. Okay. This is going to require a multiplayer server to test. Essentially, anybody or anything that you are currently afraid of, you are not allowed to move within a certain radius of. And it's about 6 blocks. Which means it's usually beyond as far, further away that you can actually attack. That said, you are not repelled if they move closer to you. It is only a matter of you can't go closer to them. I guess I can close this now. For the moment, at least. Okay. So what look? I'm already in here and I'm already afraid of somebody. Okay. So can't move closer to Dev 0. Can move further away. Motion I take towards Dev 0, who I'm currently afraid of, is just progressively slower to the point of being 0. But if I get to a point where I can't see them, then I can happily move closer. So where does that really start to kick in? Okay, starts about there, so give dev some wet sponge. Okay, so if I can't see them, I can move just fine. It's only when I can actually see them that it kicks in. There we go. Good. Perfect. Okay. Another Another case fixed. Because if you're on, like, the other side of a wall from something you're afraid of, it shouldn't prevent you from, like, basically, before I implemented that, you would have trouble going around a maze if there was something inside of it that you were afraid of. Whereas now, because it has to be visible, we can actually alter that. Now you are free to flee for a maze, as long as it doesn't mean you have to look at your terrorizer. Which is a weird turn of phrase, come to think of it, but... Okay. What next? What are the big things here? We don't have to pay attention to those, because those are in a separate workspace. Ping server for visual potion value. Right here. Okay. So let's see. Sync visual potions. Do we have bi-connectivity? Yes, we do. Yeah. Okay. Fairly straightforward then. So if world is remote and the potion sync timer is such, then packet handler send to server packet sync visual potions. I need to give it a thing, don't I? Yes, an entity ID. This.entity.getUniqueID. So there are, if anybody watching is new to this, there are some specific potions in this mod that have special visuals. Generally speaking, potions in Minecraft have just the swirly fart particles, as it were. In the case of various oddities, however, we have a few more. So we had a bunch of potions right here. Paralysis, petrification, petrifying, sleep, bonus HP, immobile, health drain, health damage, entangled, dazzled, dazed. We also have a few with stack. So if you get them from two sources, they stack together. It's pretty sweet. And whenever you have those on, we need to actually trigger certain variables so that your rendering will display the new potion effects. Now which one do I want to show first? Dazed. I like Dazed. Dazed is a fun one. Because it just does this. Perfect effect, I think. So that is just the same icon on like 8 or so, I think. Different slightly tilted like rectangles just spinning around. And yeah, you can't make potions of most of these effects, but there are ways to actually apply them. Okay, so that is another one. We are down to 11 there, plus another 2 here. It's about 13 total. Not all of these are going to be filled out today. Account for obstruction of vision. Yep, we just did that one. Very simply, but it works. Let's see, that's related to settlements, that can wait. Allow activated version of the poison ability to apply poison to held item is a rough one. That would require us doing a whole, but basically it's a matter of, if you have for the poison ability, can you smear your, like, can you like lick your blade or whatever to get poison on it and then stab somebody? That should be a thing you can do, but little tricky. Hey Cap, how you doing? Comparator function for breath weapons. Oh boy, breath weapons are some of the most complicated abilities I have currently. There's so much going on with them that I don't know if I could make that work. I'm actually not even sure if the particles still work. There's a thought. I know that not being able to see the particles of a breath weapon was a problem. Maybe that needs a more cohesive solution. Not sure, not sure. Let's see. Entity AI Goblin Warg Breed is basically exactly what it says. Ensure warg sitting during goblin breeding. This is the state that actually lets them lets goblins turn, like, breed wargs, basically. So 2 wargs make another warg, can make a warg, which is part of our pipeline. I'm fairly certain they should be breeding, but on the off chance that they're not... This is also, by the way, a finite state machine. Inside of a task system AI task. Because apparently I'm just that silly. But it makes staged things easier to do, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Warg A set sitting. Can I tell you to do that? No, I can't. Okay. Abstract Goblin Wolf. There you are. Begging, color, genetics. Yes, these guys have genetics. Oh, I can replace that with a tag now, can't I? There's a fort. Warg food. Well, that's that's for another thing. That's for a later time. Let's see. Sit goal. There you are. Is sitting. Okay. Is that the function that sets that? Yes, it is. It's just not decoded at all. Right, that should ensure absolutely that both of them are sitting. But that's only for moving to them. Let's see. Distance to walk A is less than that. I could set the move task. Oh, no, sorry. Just before I forget about it. Lose track of. Get navigator. Clear path. So they stop following you as soon as they lose track of you. Okay. Warg A dot get navigator dot try move to warg B. Got it ready. There. That should help a little bit. And warg A. What was that funk? Oh dear lord. That one, I think. I think that's the sitting. Okay. Move to B. Make sure B is sitting down. Yes, good. Try move to warg A. There. So even if they're like too far apart for them to actually normally hook onto one another, then they should absolutely do it anyways. This is a little trickier to do because it's using the AI of one entity to control 2 other entities in addition, so it's always going to have a few hiccups, but it should work. It should work. Okay. Down to about 11. Let's see. We can't do that one. Can't do that one. We could. It would just take all evening. For that, we would need to have a hook inside of item stack to know if it's been covered in poison. And then when it's used to attack somebody, it should trigger that, clear it out, and apply the poison. Maybe I'll do that next week. I don't know. That seems like a lot of work right now. Kobold mating. Okay. better distance calculation. This is when it's calculating where the nearest nest is. This is a pure as the crow flies distance calculation, which is not as good because it might identify a nest that the kobold can't actually reach, which would mean you'd lose out on X. Now theoretically I can just have the kobold teleport into them, but kobolds aren't supposed to teleport, so we do have a check for whether or not you can path to or something, but that's only after it gets the closest nest. So, yeah. Nearest available nest. How do I make sure that you can actually path to the thing? I guess I can literally just check if you can path to the middle of it. That's not necessarily 100% perfect, but it would help, at least. Okay, right, let's assume that we can do that. Do we have the navigator as its own thing? Yes, we do. Get path to position, and this would be the core of the room. Int, I believe, is the maximum distance, so let's put that as 64. Okay. So if that equals null, continue. Meaning, skip it. One less thing. I get the feeling I can feel eyes on the internet burning a hole in my face telling me please give us activated poison. I don't know. What are you doing, guys? Do you want me to do that? I am kind of flying for everything else here, so you never know. Goblin arm swing, that's really low. That's really low priority, I think. I think we have entangled now, don't we? Pretty sure we have entangled. We do have entangled. Okay. So I can actually use entangled. There we go. That's one thing. Yeah, entangled is basically you're covered in vines. it's like being caught in a net, I guess. So it applies. So when the goblin catches up to the wolf in charge, it applies the entangled effect for 5 seconds, starts ticking down its taming timer, and when that hits 0 or less than somehow, it's supposed to swing its arm. Doesn't always happen, but we do still nonetheless get the entangled warg. Yeah, we do grab the custom name just in case. I think everything's good. Otherwise here, yeah, that can occasionally fail, and I'm still not entirely certain why. Because it's not server side, so I don't know exactly what causes that to weird out occasionally. Well, while we're here, we got a little bit of time. More than I was expecting to have here. Abstract Goblin Wolf. There's the food items, so we're gonna check. So many hit points. Oh yes, Cam, you're just accumulating them, I know. Okay. We should have item tags, I'm pretty sure. Somewhere. Is that in data? Item, block, entity. We don't appear to have any for items. Okay, that is fine. We will add them in a hot second, because I know I've got that working inside of various equipment. Which is the next thing I have to continue work on, because I haven't touched that in a while. Let's see, data, item tags. And we are going to start with a really simple one of just, this is supposed to be reference. Very simple one of just warg food. Don't need to worry about the curios support. That is not relevant to this. Okay, so what did we say the keep before? Items.rotten flesh, items.chicken, items.mutton, beef, items.bees. Oh, that is a hilarious idea for an Easter egg. You let them eat bees. Oh no, and whenever they do, they get the puffy face. Oh, that'd be hilarious. That'd be so much work, though. There we go. Okay. We don't need to NQ. We don't really need to worry about block tags here either. Yeah, VO block tags I can put it as. I think that's all good. Just gotta quickly refactor the name of the class. Okay. So now, instead of having this static, unchangeable list, we can actually just check if the stack has the tag. Get item tags contains VO item tags dot warg food. There. And then I just need to shove this in here. I think that means I don't need the block text in there. Let's find out. So let's see, run data. Should generate. See what we get real quick before my next break. So tags, we got items, we do not have blocks, I note. Where is my unfazable gone? But there's all of the stuff we edit. Very good. Weird, I would have thought it would have slotted it in there, but apparently not. Well, that's fine. The block tags part is important because it is the thing that determines what kind of things intangible creatures are not allowed to go through. There we go, there's blocks. The unfazable tag, which is mostly indestructible blocks to begin with, but just in case there's other stuff. Okay, so now if we run client and check our thing, we can also get rid of this entirely. We should be able to check, by actually looking at the items, if they have the tag. So let's see, salmon was one. Yeah, just regular raw salmon. So, can see that. Data get entity at E type equals item. Limit equals 1. Why am I getting an egg? I'm not looking for an egg. I didn't even know there were chickens around here, for that matter. There's a thing here. Sort. Nearest. Okay. I'm not seeing the tag on this. I should be able to see the tag. Where do I see the tags for things? I suppose I can just try and feed it to a warg, can't I? Except you've already got cooked chicken. Give. Right, you're not actually tamed, are you? Okay, I will be back after the break. See you then. Oh, hey! And it's still Pride! I believe that's... is that agender? I think that's the agender flag. I'm not 100% certain though. There's a lot of them. But yeah, Pride kobolds are currently in effect. Anyways, yes. I'll be back in about 10 minutes and we'll see, to close out the evening, if we can make like poison be applicable to an item. Oh boy, catching a bit. Welcome back, everybody, to the final hour of our evening, and we've done a lot tonight. It may not feel like it, because a lot of it's been tiny, for the most part, small little detail things, but we do now have the warg food tag, which I've just discovered you can in fact search like so. So if you want to look for any item that can be used for warg food, you can just type that in your creative search menu. Apparently, don't know how long that's been there, never had to use it. That then lists all of the items default labeled as such. This means you can now actually use data packs to expand that. If you have a particularly large, I don't know, food mod inside of your mod pack, you can make the wargers eat that stuff as well. And remind me exactly what do they do with that. Abstract Goblin Wolf. Pretty sure there's an AI thing for this. It's presumably found here. Is food. Is called by beg. Okay. So if I hold this in front of the guy, he should beg. Do you have your AI? There's a thought. Get entity, that one. Are you on no AI? Is that why you're not doing much? Yes you are. Okay. Are there any around here that do have their AI on? Let's see. Modify entity, that one. No AI. Set value 0B. You hungry? You hungry at all? Okay, I might need you to actually just, well, firstly, chill out. Wait, why didn't you... Oh, we might have a problem. We might have a problem here. Because you really want to be able to make these guys sit, because they will attack unprovoked. So there's obviously some part of the AI there. Okay. Sticking that on my list. But okay, I just need somebody to beg for food here. Let me plonk down a fresh warg or warg over here. Foods. Nope. Okay. All of them have this. It should be causing them to look at me, at the very least. Has temptation item in hand. Either a bone or is a food item. So let's check if bones work. Apparently, no. You're definitely looking at me a bunch, but I don't think you're quite working. Gotta fix that? Yeah, that is a big problem. Set begging, timeouts, yes, okay, so... Let's check if this is running at all. Let's see. Allow invulnerable, allow friendly fire, skip attack checks. Yep, that's all fine. Distance they're given is... Where's Beg? Let's wonder... Where is Beg? That might just be the problem. Register goals right there. 8 blocks. Okay. So if we're within 8 blocks, they should be able to do so. Granted, that one is currently latched on to some, Doing okay there? Still no begging item in hand. Interesting. Right. What's going on? So it is getting me. We know it's the same one because it's only a range of 8 blocks. So what's going on? Oh, it's only if they're tamed. Right, there's my failing point. Okay, I need to tame you. But you've already seen a goblin, so unfortunately I can't tame you for quite some time. Until their influence has left you. Forgive me. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. There we go. Right. Food. Okay, not food. Food, not food. Food, not food. Okay, we need to change this up a little bit. Let's see. So that would be vo item tags dot warg dot contains stack get item. I think. You can tell it's getting late in the evening. Yeah, if a warg has seen a goblin quite recently, it will be... it's not tameable. Because it presumes that it's goblin masters, basically. Okay, let's try that one more time. Yep. No. Yep, no. Yep, no. Yep. Yep. No. Yep, no. There we go. Much better. Okay. You come with me. Have to remember it's shift right click because right clicking them normally will put an item in their mouth. But okay. So that solves that problem. So now we can actually use that item tag just happily. Trying to think then, what else do we need? That we definitely need to fix up. So let's have a look at what could be causing that. Some part of them doing that. Is it just that that particular warg isn't actually tame? Let's have a look. Or warg, I should say. Wargs are the smaller ones. Let's see, that's your inventory. Yep, no eye is fine right now. In love, yep. I'm not seeing tame in here. Next question, can I tame you? I actually don't know that I can. Oh yeah, painting my nails for the first time in Pride Month. No, I'm not seeing anything here referring to being tamed. which suggests to me that you're not. So that might just be it. You can't make them sit if they're not tamed. Let's see, is sitting, there's that. See where that function gets called and set attack targets. Yep. There's the sit packet. Is sitting. Where's that get called? The sit goal and everything. Warg follow goblin. Nope, just checks if they're sitting. How do I make you sit? I think it is literally just that I have to... Oh, if they have an attack target, stop sitting when tamed. If they are tamed, target does not equal null, target is alive and is sitting, then stop sitting. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can make it sit any other way. I think the reason this isn't sitting is because it's not tamed. Okay. I think it's basically I think it's just because I've been dealing with it in creative mode. There. meet your very large brother. Literally your older brother, actually, because this one's been around for a while. Okay, what is it to tame a warg? Let's see. Is this just handled inside of... Oh, this is Goblin Wolf, so it's not that. If it's not a child, there's a saddle. Pretty much. I don't think you can actually tame these guys. Yeah, I don't think you can actually tame them. You can breed them, but you can't tame them. So they have to spawn tamed. Right. Well, maybe I can clone the data from you. Da-da-dum. Let's see here. Oh no, right there. Right, let me write this down. Nine 4043 9953. Right. So now you should be tamed. Like legit actually tamed. Yes. Okay. So modify you one last time. It. Well, that didn't work well, did it? And now. Sit. Good. Good boy. Okay. So note for any budding warg breeders. If they're not tamed, you can't actually make them sit. Outside of creative mode and turning off their AI. But okay, that's good. We've discovered that that will now function. Good. Good, good, good. That's another thing off the list then. Is there much else I can do on camera tonight? Most of this stuff is very nitty-gritty. I don't imagine it'd be very entertaining. Right, so when the warg is being ridden, you are in control of it. But the idea of the warg is that it's a fairly unruly mount in exchange for being pretty powerful. So if you're not actively controlling it, then it will try and go off on its own. Which is handy in some circumstances, but less so when you're passing the neighbor's fields. Because it will, as we've just seen, eat them. So, I need to determine what values to use in the event that it's not actively being controlled. Namely, effectively, I need can be steered to be reflective of is currently actively being steered. So let's factor that in here, and well, let's just grab the controlling passenger real quick here. So rider does not equal null, rider is alive, and rider dot move forwards, was it? Forwards? No, it's not that. It is... Yep, the living entity. Move forwards. Okay. Does not equal 0f, or move strafing does not equal 0f. In other words, if you're not actively trying to move it right now, then it will just be moving on its own. I think that should work. Let's find out. I'm surprised no one has asked for a fit check today, honestly. A little bit surprised. There have been very few fit checks recently. Couldn't tell you why. Okay, so if I tell you to move, you move, but otherwise if I'm not actively telling you where to go, you're just wandering around on your own. You're not going too far though, I note. What if I give you something to munch on? Are you gonna go after them? Whip. Look. That's too quick. You need to give me a moment here. It does look like he slows down a lot, which isn't intended behavior. Okay, you are going for him. You are going for the cow. This is good. No, cow, stay back. You will die. Like, so easily. You will die so easily. Okay. I think that's good. I think that's good. So the wandering doesn't work quite so well. Which, near there, that's fine. Having to actively handle them to get them away from, like, livestock is an intended feature. I should also check if they actually have a saddle whenever we check that. Okay. So what is messing with their capacity to wander? That is my question. I'm guessing it's actually some part of the wander code. Why do they have their own AI? That's for this, I don't know. I don't remember. This is old code. This is from like 112. I think. Not sure. I think I'm gonna call that one fine. Oh, we're down to like less than 10 entries, everybody. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe like half a dozen things left here. And most of these, honestly, I could let go as is. I could let these go as is. That and this, both of which are related to bodies, are about the only thing I have left to worry about, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, how do I fix this up further? What is the last thing I do tonight? I think this is good, honestly. I think I could actually, for the most part, push this out. If I just mark the body parts unreliability as its own thing, I think it's fine. We don't have warg riders just yet, but boy are those going to be dangerous. It's like imagine a Ravager rider, but fast. Like, Ravagers are big, beefy things. Actually, I'm curious, how statistically, how do Ravagers compare to wargs? Out of curiosity. Let's see, they have 100 health. On normal difficulty, they do 6 hearts of damage. Oof. Speed's 0.4, knockback resistance is 0.5. Wargs have 40 health, but they have 7 natural armor. Movement speed is 0.3, so they depending on how these numbers are correlated, that might actually be slower. Attack damage, however, is 12, so flat 6 hearts. They're actually pretty on par. They're actually pretty on par, except for the fact that they have 100 health. I'm not reading any measure of armor, though, so damage from the Ravager is going to be less than what you actually get. Why are there 2 images for this thing? Apparently there were 2 versions of Ravager texture. Oh yeah, there's chains missing from the side of its legs. I wonder why they did that. Also, can we talk about how goofy the Ravager looks? This looks like something I would make in Space Engineers, in all honesty. Like, it's meant to be some kind of big bull creature, I guess, but it's literally... it's a box with legs, even more so than normal for Minecraft. It's a very weird creature. Now there's 4. Is this actually... are we actually in the right version to have Ravagers? I presume we are. Yeah. So you could see a warg fighting a Ravager at some stage. That'd be fun. Personally, my money's on the warg. Personally. But that also raises the point of, once you're able to breed wargs, you can actually effectively breed a Ravager equivalent, like, entity, a Ravager equivalent mount. Even to the point where it's not necessarily listening to you. Fun detail there. I do want it to not... I do want it to not stand up whenever it's near something. Where do I think yeah, I'll fix that, and then we'll call that my last detail of the evening. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, wargs are tamed by default, but not necessarily by you. Let's see. Abstract Goblin Wolf. Set attack target. If it is tamed. Okay. If it's not tamed is what we should have there. So, if not tamed... Wait, we just established that that's true all of the time, didn't we? No, it's fine. It's fine. So, if the attack target is a goblin, then ignore, and if the target is alive and we are currently sitting, stop sitting. There. That should fix that up neatly. Okay, so if they're not tamed and there's livestock nearby, they'll stop sitting. Otherwise, they'll stay sitting, which gives you a nice classic recourse. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm at a good point here, so I'll try and tweak these up a little bit on my own time, and then this time next week we should have a new version of Various Oddities out after a better part of a year. This will be determined to this will be described as the foundational update, effectively because it introduces a lot of variables, a lot of mechanics and such that we'll be using dramatically a lot going forwards. And then next week we'll be working on various equipment to get that up to par as well, because there's a bunch of stuff left to do there. Otherwise, may or may not have a stream this Thursday. Depends very much on how physically able I am in terms of getting to that concert I want to go, because I have not been to a concert in ages, and they're lovely. If I can't make it, then there probably will be a stream. If I can make it, there won't be. So keep an eye on Twitter for that specifically. Then on Saturday, we have the carousel as normal, which if I don't stream on Thursday might be Farewell Pride, we'll see. And we'll be back this time on Tuesday. Otherwise, any videos I make are over at youtube.com/lyingtube, and everything I do, including become my much curvier, happier self, is powered by you at patreon.com/lying. Hope you've all enjoyed. I will give you a free fit check just because I like this outfit. Blump. So, blip, ha. Oh, I've been sat down a while. There we go. So yeah, it's cute. I like it. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all as ever next time. Cool. Happy Pride.